Terry North.
The following is a special presentation of ABC Sports.
ABC Sports presents live in its 30th anniversary season, the Professional Bowlers Tour, today from Winter Haven, Florida. It's the Florida Open. In our first game, first-time finalist Greg Thomas will face four-time champion Chris Warren of Dallas. That winner will meet our Showboat Invitational champion, Harry Sullins. In the semifinal game, tour veteran Mark Thayer is seeking his first title, as is our tournament leader, Bob Vespi from Plantation, Florida. That's our outstanding field of finalists for this afternoon's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast. The Professional Bowlers Tour has stopped in Winter Haven, Florida for the 8th tournament on our winter tour of 16, the $135,000 Florida Open. Winter Haven is nestled in the geographical center of the peninsula of Florida. It's an area of spring-fed lakes, lots of rolling terrain, and it's big in agriculture, very big. Hello again, I'm Chris Schenkel. Near Cypress Lanes is this orange grove, owned by the Rowe family. It is absolutely beautiful. Look at the healthy orange trees. Here in Florida, it is a billion-dollar industry, and here in Winter Haven, they celebrate it with a festival every year. The state flower of Florida is the orange blossom, and the result of the orange blossom is something like this beautiful orange. And Bo, I'm going to pick this one and bring it back just for you. Let's go to Cypress Lanes now and Nelson Burton Jr.
It's been a warm week down here in Florida for the first of two stops in Florida State. We have an outstanding field. We've had sellout crowds all week long, and today is no exception. And Chris Schenkel, thank you very much for this Valencia orange. I'll enjoy it after the telecast. Now we're at the halfway point of the 1992 ABC televised tour of the PBA. And two things stand out. Number one, diversification. There have been 7 different winners in 7 tournaments. And number two, the power players have taken over the tour. And this 5 players today exemplify just what we mean. They go coast to coast with the ball, they throw a lot of strikes, and of course they can always make that big mistake. So let's look at how the players are playing the championship pair today. The PBA has placed oil down the lane 37 feet. It's a little heavier in the center. The back 23 feet are pretty dry. So the players have a nice swing area. Now all these players are big hook ball players, and they're starting the ball towards the left side, out between the first and second arrows, out to the very edge, swing the big hook back in the 1-3 pocket. A possibility for big scores, Chris, and a lot of money at stake.
Total of $135,000 with 23 to the winner, 12 runner-up, 75, 6, and 5. Good news! ABC's Wide World of Sports returns today with the World Gymnastics Championship. We invite you to witness a very historic and dramatic moment as Ken Zamasko becomes the first American ever to capture the World All-Around title. What an accomplishment, what a feat. Plus, Wide World today will feature the start of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race. Also a feature on the welcoming home of Olympic figure skaters Christy Yamaguchi, Paul Wiley, and Nancy Kerrigan. It'll follow us, and we begin now ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour telecast live. Cypress Lanes, and here's the smallest of all the PBA members at 5'5", 115. 4-time champion, including the Masters Championship, Chris Warren of Dallas. Left the 10-pin on the left lane.
Chris Warren among the 5 finalists with the big hook balls. What we call the conventional or down and in players didn't roll too well this week, because if they started down and in, the ball would hook too soon. If they sent it wide, they didn't have enough power to get it back. And right now we have a slight delay as one of the pins did not clear. We're going to have to get a mechanic to pull the pin out of the right-hand channel by the 10-pin so that Chris can throw the shot. Now the American Bowling Congress rules say if he happens to shoot and touch that pin, even though he wouldn't have had interference with the 10-pin, he would get 0 for that shot. So the best he could do was 9, Chris.
Is this upsetting to a pro?
I don't think so. Chris Warren, he's a lighthearted guy, and he knows it happens during the tournament. This is not the first time, but he knows it's hot out there, so...
He turns that motor on, though. He sort of like a race car ready to go. Oh, that broke some of the... Okay, here he goes now. 10-pin left lane.
That's fair.
He's wearing a microphone, so we'll let you in on whatever he says. All right, let's meet Greg Thomas of Old Town, Idaho. That's 40 miles north of Spokane, Washington. 6-year member, hoping to win his first title this afternoon. Bo, you finished 15th this week. Congratulations, and you bowled against this youngster.
Right, Chris, and it's pretty much of a high backswing, much like Amleto Monticelli. This is his first championship round, so he gets the ball way up here, that wrist is open, and he comes down and he snaps it right on through, deep knee bend. See how far left he's sliding on the approach, and an excellent first shot.
Opening with a double is this non-winner going against Chris Warren. Chris is 28. He has 4 titles, including Pinole, Wichita, and the man that also won the Japan Cup has left another 10.
Well, that was a solid 10. As you look at his style, he's a very quick feet, medium-high backswing. He's not quite as high as a lot of the players, you see, and look at how his knee is in perfect position to pivot down through the shot. Doesn't quite slide as far to the foul line as his opponent, but once again, he has the 10.
Well, continues to mark with spares, the young man who finished second to Amleto Monticelli for Player of the Year honors in 1990.
And we can see how far left all these players are playing. Watch Chris Warren. He'll be over here on the left. He'll walk almost straight, and his target will be between the second and third arrows. So he'll drift a little this way, throw it out here, and then hope for the big hook back to the pocket.
Now he's zeroed on. Little pep talk, and he needs it because he's going against a man who leads by 11, has a double.
Warren likes this shot. All 3 in the pocket. This is the first one that gets the perfect strike.
Three-bagger. Earlier, Greg Thomas recalled his pre-professional bowling experiences.
Yes, when I was 12 years old, I joined adult leagues, and soon after, I bowled the ABC Masters at 13 as the youngest ever. And when I turned 18, I thought I was ready to join a regional tour, and a few years later, I'm here today.
Has all the credentials, going for 4 in a row.
All right, here's a young man in that Masters, defeated Chris Warren. Okay, we'll be back with more following this.
Looking good, get into Bud Light. The clean, fresh taste won't fill you up, never let you down.
You can taste it, feel it, know you got it right. 'Cause everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else is just a light. Everything else.
I get that right? Perfect.
Back in 5, Stephanie.
When you're trying to eat right, days like this are a disaster. Is this it?
Stephanie Powers talks about Kellogg's Nutri-Grain.
The only time I really control what I eat is at breakfast, and the whole grain in Kellogg's Nutri-Grain gives me a natural start. No sugar added, no preservatives, nothing fake. No matter what I eat later, at breakfast I call the shots.
Naturally good. Nutri-Grain, the natural place to start.
We're back at Cypress Lanes, Florida Open, Winter Haven, Florida, on a beautiful day from Dallas, Texas. Chris Warren down 31 pins because his opponent has strung 4 here in the fourth frame, strike up for Warren. Cuts the lead to 21, Bo.
Well, when these type of players, the power players, get it going, and it looks like they have an ideal condition out there today, as every ball has been the pocket so far for both players. Warren with 2 10 pins and 2 strikes. His opponent, Greg Thomas, 4 in a row. We can see some big scores. They have the power to keep the strikes going.
Oh, that's slow. Slow. Yeah!
Now he trails by only 11.
Best scoring environment we've seen all year long. We're at the halfway point, and when you hear a player as Chris Warren with his microphone saying, whoa, 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 that means he made a little mistake. Either threw it too hard, turned it a little bit too much. And when they can get the ball to hold pocket, not get a big split, Katie bar the door. They're going to come out swinging as Greg Thomas takes his first of 2 allowed 2 re-racks. He has 4 in a row, 5th frame.
Twist and shoot. 3, 6, 10. Breaking his string at 4.
Greg Thomas with a release very similar to Bruce Hamilton, who won our True Value in Peoria. As you see him with a quick, high turning roll, slow speed, the ball actually hitting the thumb hole, sends it too wide with not enough speed, leaves the 3, 6, 10. Now he's got a guard against sliding by the 3 pin and chopping off the 6, 10. Well, when you don't hit any of them, obviously, we said unpredictable. The crankers do it all. He's looking between the first and second arrows and just throws the ball to the second arrow. It never gets any lift. Adios. On the Ballard board. 3, 6, 10. He misses, and he goes from a 11-pin lead to 8 pins in arrears through 5.
Most fans probably rooting for a strike there for this non-winner after 4 in a row. Missing. And now the 3, 6, Bo.
Similar combination to what he had before, Chris. He has to get the ball right between the 3 and 6. Let the ball take out both pins. And actually, all he had was a 10 pin in the previous shot. Let's see if he makes an adjustment.
All right. Marking with a spare. Now a chance to catch his breath and regroup. But up is red-hot Chris Warren, 3 in a row.
Warren with the kind of a short fingertip. He sticks his fingers in past the first knuckle, cups that wrist, and gets the big snap. He goes for the power.
Now he's pouring it on. Chris Warren describes some business activity he's got going outside of the tour.
Well, I'm really excited. My new venture is into a bowling ball company. Consists of touring professionals, me, Dale Ballard, Bill Hall, Norm Duke, and Jim Maylander. And it's a company for the bowlers, by the bowlers, producing bowling balls. The company's named Champions Incorporated, and we developed the ball called the Weapon.
What a weapon today.
Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Yeah!
Honk and shout, Chris Warren. We have a lot of competitive bowling here today as Chris Warren now leads Greg Thomas. But you know, yesterday, the bowling was much more playful. Watch.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
Morning breath.
As soon as I have my coffee, it's all gone.
Whether you admit it or not, it's a problem.
Okay, I have morning breath, but it doesn't bother anyone.
Don't be so sure.
Mine's not so bad.
Morning breath's not as bad as you think. It's worse. So get Scope. Its two powerful ingredients kill 90% of the bacteria that cause morning breath.
Was my morning breath really that bad?
There's no denying morning breath, so save your breath with Scope.
No American had ever captured the world all-around crown until now. Watch Kim Zemeskel's historic performance next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
That's next. But yesterday, watch this action by Minnie and Mickey. Everybody's friends. Count 'em. What a delightful pair, huh? Mickey and Minnie. Mike Wagner's buddies. Ours, too. Now, Greg Thomas. Trailing by 28. Good boy. 1 point, led by 21. Let's go to Nelson Burton Jr., Bo.
Schenkel, Harry Sullins, obviously the scoring is a lot better than you thought. What do you think is going to happen out there, or what adjustments are you going to make?
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to wait for the transition. Looks like the real big hook is working real well, and it's debatable. I don't know if I want to play the big hook or play a little more direct. I guess I'll just have to wait and see when I get my practice shots in.
He gets a couple of practice shots, Chris. He'll make a decision. I think the scores are going to be big. Back to you.
You can't cut it to 18. Oh, yes. Competitive from the start. Warren, stringing 5 in a row, leading by 18, can go back to 28. He'll be shooting in the 8th frame. This is our very first match at the Florida Open. Second year at Cypress Lanes. Darrell and Mike Ducat are our hosts here, as they are in Toledo, site of the PBA National Championship. Let's replay that shot.
Warren sends it wide, and this isn't the solid 10. You'll see the 6 pin just kind of die and not drive into the 10. He had a potential 279 if he could have struck out. Second pin on the right-hand part of the screen. Doesn't bump against the 10 pin. Right now, if he spares, he will lead by 17 through 8.
That's fair.
Chris Warren of Dallas, Texas.
Seriously big shot.
Next Saturday, ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour heads to the Florida Everglades, where the biggest gators rule the waters and the fittest bowlers survive the challenging lanes of the Homestead Classic. That's next Saturday here on ABC Sports. Join us. Usual time and station, 3 Eastern.
That's a strike.
You heard Chris Warren, as he let go of the ball, say that's a strike. And this is some of the penalties the power players pay. The solid 9, unusual hit. Watch the action of the ball as it cuts through the 1 and 3. A perfect strike. It should deflect from the 5 into the 9. He had so much power, the pins did not deflect the ball. It chopped the 5 off the 9. Warren has to settle for a spare.
Spare again. Come on. Give me a break.
Okay. The beauty of a wireless mic. Now, Greg Thomas, trailing by 16, double up, shooting in the 9th frame. Big shot.
Same thing that happened to Warren in the 9th frame. The half 10 on the right-hand lane. The left-hand lane, here's a replay. Warren had this same shot on a big string of 5 in a row. 6 doesn't get. The right-hand lane, lane 28 in the Sporting Lanes establishment, does not quite finish or hook as much as 27. They're a good match pair. The one little difference is 28 is a little bit harder to carry on. We have a match.
Okay. We at ABC Sports would like to welcome all the viewers in the Marquette, Michigan area who are watching for the first time on WLUC TV, Channel 6. Beautiful area, Bo, Marquette.
And what a diametrical change in the weather between here and Marquette. Now, here we have Thomas up. He has a potential 230. He must strike on the next 2 balls to force Warren to mark.
Looking away.
Warren knows he's done all he can do so far. He's put 9 consecutive balls in the pocket, has 5 strikes to show for it, but all he's going to need is a good count and a spare if Greg Thomas strikes on this ball. Look at the tension on his face and the heat.
And then gets this, though. Tough break. Boy, he is showing the signs of a long, hard week and the pressure and tension here. Really takes it out of you.
You bet, especially with the heat, Chris. A big crowd in here. The best he can do is 220. He'll probably end up with about 219. Chris Warren has to just keep the ball on the lane. No Ballard ball for Warren, and he can win this match.
Opened 4 in a row. A great start. Warren strung them together, but he hung in there. A couple of bad breaks, and Greg, people in Old Town, and all of us are proud of you for an outstanding performance. Now Chris Warren.
He just needs one of these pins to win. He's looking at the scoreboard. He needs 1 pin to win. If he misses all of these by some chance, it would be a tie match, and we would have a sudden death 2-frame roll-off. Scoreboard off to the right. Warren sees the score. He's going for the cluster on the right. Just hit one of these pins, and he's the winner. We'll go on to meet Harry Sullins.
A 219 for Greg Thomas. Great battle here in our first match. ABC Sports presentation of the Professional Bowlers Tour. We'll return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
The World League is back.
Get into it.
This spring on ABC Sports.
You rode the same rides, ate the same junk, got the same heartburn. But his antacid's different from yours. His Tums has calcium. Most antacids don't. Regular Rolaids uses an aluminum salt. This uses aluminum and magnesium. So does this. Of all these, only Tums helps wipe out heartburn and gives you calcium you need every day.
Something my body needs anyway. I like that.
Calcium-rich Tums.
Sumo, flat out, more power than you've ever seen in a bowling center.
Billy Crystal, Dustin Hoffman, Whitney Houston, Diana Ross, and the biggest names in entertainment. The Muhammad Ali 50th birthday celebration tomorrow.
Let's face it, this could be the best time to make your best deal on a new Toyota. Now, it's no secret that interest rates are lower than they've been in years. So if you've been waiting to buy a new car or truck, now is the time. And your Toyota dealer is ready with the biggest inventory of the year, with big option package savings and factory-to-dealer incentives that could save you hundreds more. If you think it's a great time to buy a new Toyota, remember, you're not alone. So hurry, see your Toyota dealer today.
Where the light
Strike it rich in Rochester, New York at the Lilac City Tournament.
Bowl for over $950,000 in cash prizes.
Enter the high-paying men's team event.
The women's team event.
And the mixed team event.
Win with the Lilac.
There's the men's doubles.
Women's doubles and mixed doubles events. It's the world's fastest growing tournament.
And we plan to pay over $950,000. Call 1-800-36-LILAC.
Win with the Lilac.
Rhonda Overby covers the Mid-State, only on 27 News.
The Pro Bowlers Tour. Brought to you by the makers of Tums, the sodium-free antacid that's rich in calcium. By True Value, got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. And by Kellogg's, proud sponsor of our 1992 U.S. Olympic team.
Man in the striped shirt, Chris Warren, defeated Greg Thomas, non-winner. Very close and wonderful match, 221 to 219, Chris with 5 strikes. Now, stepping in is the Showboat Invitational winner in January, Harry Sullins. He will be more than a good test for this man, Chris Warren.
Okay, it's all right. Boy, did you throw that bad. Get a little quicker next time. Come on. Settle down. First shot of the match, you're supposed to make a good shot. You gotta throw it like a geek.
It is said that it's healthy to talk to yourself. Except if the answers come back.
They might come back if he doesn't make the spare. This spare has given both players a little trouble in the first match. They have had a tendency to slide by on the right.
Get
Now, look at Harry Sullins, who has the nickname, the Legend. Power player, Bo?
Yes, he is. He's a self-taught player. He's one of the few players that really didn't have a coach, didn't go through the junior program. He just experimented and did a lot of practice, and he ended up with the power player as many of the young players on the tour.
Lucky. Broke up the 7-10, this man from Detroit.
Harry with a shorter backswing than the other players. He's a taller player, doesn't need the high backswing. He's just about shoulder length. And this is the point I like. Now look at this pivot step right there as he drives through, and look at that wrist release the ball. The soft 10 or half 10, which we've seen a couple of times in the right-hand lane, but a good start.
All right, the man with the 4-step approach, Harry Sullins. Big steps.
You consider Harry Sullins, he has bowled 183 consecutive pro bowling tournaments, a record 235 by Sam Flanagan in the 60s. Now let's see how Harry Sullins is playing the championship here. Now he's starting here, but he's going to drift a little bit to the left and then start the ball out over around the second arrow. Once again, not playing quite as big a hook as the other players.
There he gets it. Number 3 on the money list thus far. Behind Bruce Hamilton at nearly 46 and Mark McDowell at nearly 45. Harry with 37, 825. Chris Warren, 10,840 up to this point. Looking for his first win of 92.
That's fine.
Didn't come up, leaving 2-4.
Chris Warren sliding by on that shot, going high on the left-hand lane. So the characteristic of the championship pair showing up on both of his shots. Very simple spare. All Chris has to do is get the ball in this area. It will carry out the 2 and the 4. Just don't want to slide by.
Wow. Almost missed that.
About 20 miles an hour and straight at it on that spare. That is a good lesson. Cut the hook down, go straight at the spares. All you have to do is touch them to knock the pins over. The ball weighs 16 pounds, the pins 3 pounds, 6 ounces.
Powerful shot. 115 pounds.
Gets all his powers, as many players in any sport do, from the legs. The wrist is important, the leverage of the swing, but the legs are what give you the momentum. Much taller player, Harry Sullins at 6 feet tall, doesn't need quite as much knee bend or arm swing as Chris Warren.
Beautiful. Harry Sullins, who's going for his second title this year, has some early votes for Bowler of the Year, has his own vision for the future.
Wildest dreams, Bo? Come on, that's a common dream for a tour player. It's great to start the year off. You know, you get a win in the first couple of weeks. You got a chance to win again this week. And, hey, there's still about 25 tournaments left in a year, and you just do your best. And hopefully, by this time next year, I will be Player of the Year. You never know.
He was going for 3 in a row, leaving the 10 pin on the left lane.
Wow, you can hear the crack of the pins all the way back here in the announce booth, and we are a good 60 feet away from the foul line, so Sullins has it going. Watch the wrist action, the swing, and then his reaction as he knows he's throwing it as good as you can. Inversion here, he'd have 11 pin lead through 4.
Big error. Let's reminisce for a moment with this Brenda Lee recording from 30 years ago.
Break it to me gently. Let me down.
Thanks for joining us, Susan. What's new tonight?
Nothing, honey.
Can't you make up something, darling?
Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch is new with a deliciously sweet new recipe.
Anything new?
Nothing, honey.
Anything changed?
Nothing, honey.
Anything different?
Nothing, honey.
See you tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
It's a whole new Nut and Honey Crunch, and you'll love the nutty sweet taste.
He just won't open up. Watch this. What's new, Pete?
Nothing, honey.
Like a brick wall.
New Kellogg's Nut and Honey Crunch. That nobody knows. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you've got to have an ace in the hole.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait. Competition is fierce in the Florida Everglades, and it's survival of the fittest on the lanes at the Homestead Classic next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
Next Saturday, we'll be there. We're in Central Florida, the very center, at the Cypress Lanes for the Florida Open. Leading by 1 is tiny Chris Warren of Dallas, Texas. He won the first match over Greg Thomas by a score of 221 to 219. Chris now checking out that approach. You may have seen Harry Sullins when he missed on the left lane. Thought he had a problem with his slide and his 4-step delivery. Chris apparently had some earlier here on the right lane, so the pro that he is, he checked it out. Leading by 1, strike up.
Come on. Okay.
High hit.
Bad idea. Experiment.
Chris has left the 6, 10. Won his first title at Pinole, 1990 as the top seed. 2 more wins in 90, including the ABC Masters.
Killed there.
Okay, Bo.
Thank you, Chris. Mark Thayer in the semifinal match. Mark, the score's very high today. Are you surprised? Are you going to change any of your strategy?
No, I am surprised about the lanes, though. I mean, we got an hour practice session this time, and transition's already taken over, so that's why the scores are so high, and I think they're going to continue to be high.
All right, Mark, and for what it's worth, Chris, the PBA voted to change the practice to 1 hour. I think it's helped the players. Back to you.
Oh, nice break on the tripping the 4-pin. That's what all pros like to do. Taught to me at an early age by Frank Esposito about tripping the 4. And Billy Waylu, my former commentator, used to worry more about tripping the 4. We all have to worry about tripping the 4, don't we?
Well, the 2-pin goes to the sideboard, and it does the damage.
Love it.
Now Sullins with the full grip. Power player spreads that index finger, and that's his key point. He actually keys his shot off his index finger. Every player kind of has a spot they key off of. Harry, bothered by something off the right, wisely stepped off the approach. Coming up, 5th frame ever, missing a spare in the 4th.
Sending it wide. Curving it into that 1-3. Harry Sullins, the legend. He can take an 11-pin lead with a strike on the left lane, while tomorrow it's a full lineup on ABC Sports. First, Lee Trevino leads Team USA against an elite international squad in the final round of the Chrysler Cup. Then Domino Pizza's college basketball follows with a long-awaited showdown. The #1 Blue Devils at Duke go west to take on the 4th-ranked UCLA Bruins, plus regional action live tomorrow, ABC. Again, didn't like the slide.
Well, he stuck a little bit on the left-hand lane. I think it was just his style. You get his foot a little bit sideways, and he can stick on the approach. Now, Chris Warren, I know, has checked the right-hand lane earlier, and there's a spot on the right-hand approach that was some water that dried up from earlier this morning. Somebody accidentally spilled some water, so both of them have dried up. It should be of no effect on the players.
Watching in Atlantic City is Hall of Fame bowler Billy Allen, who's having some medical problems at the Atlantic City Medical Center. We hope, Billy, that you come back quickly. Good luck.
One of my good friends used to fly planes with me. Now, Chris Warren leads by 1, can make it 11.
Come on. All right. That was in the hole. Come on. Just chill.
Looks like a smaller version of artist Leroy Neiman.
You're right about that. Conversion here, he'll lead by 1 through 6. Boom. Little hot dog out there by Chris Warren.
He is something.
We heard Mark Thayer in his interview mention that he had a better practice time. We have always allowed the pros 1/2 hour practice, or 30 minutes before airtime. Today, the PBA opted to try a 1-hour practice. I think it's helped. The players are more zeroed in, and obviously a little better scoring environment.
Go on, go on. Chris Warren, from a family of 10 children, 6 brothers, 3 sisters. What a guy. More of this second match, leading by 1. But first this.
Here are 10 good reasons for you to shop at True Value hardware stores. If you come up with any others, we'll be here to help. You can do it with True Value hardware stores.
Alka-Seltzer Plus goes to the Arctic Circle, where the toughest colds live.
Alka-Seltzer Plus takes care of the aches, the runny nose. Alka-Seltzer Plus has done exactly what I've needed it to do. It does the job.
Alka-Seltzer Plus, tough medicine for tough winter colds.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day.
No American had ever captured the world all-around crown until now. Watch Kim Zemeskel's historic performance next on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Chris Warren to regain the lead. Sullins doubled.
Get up. Get up. Get up.
So it is late in the second. Chris Warren won the first over Greg Thomas, 221 to 219.
What a superb shot by Chris Warren in the 8th frame. He struggled through the first 4 frames, struck in the 5th, The solid 10 in the 6th has gotten it back together with 2 strikes, 1 in the 7th and 1 in the 8th. The game is on. 2 frames left. Warren leads by 1 stick.
Go long, please.
Chris now takes an 11-10 lead.
Harry Sullins, a smart move. Chris Schenkel, he slows the action down. Remember, he has 25 seconds to throw his next shot, or he gets a fine by the PBA. But it's worthwhile to slow it down every once in a while, pay the fine, and get back in the match. It's $100 if he doesn't get it off in 25 seconds. He needs a strike here in the 9th, and he'll only trail by 1 pin.
Yes. 3, 6, 9, 10. The man who in January won Frank Modica's Showboat Invitational.
I think Chris Warren got to him. He psyched him out, worked on him, worked the crowd, and on a key shot, here's what he has to do, is get the ball over here between the 3 and 6, a tough shot, probably the toughest right-hand spare that right-handers have. That, the 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, the other tough one. He needs to make this to stay in the match.
Two talented professionals, though. You watch them work, whether it's ball preparation, setting themselves on the approach. Beautiful.
I agree, Chris. And right now, Warren has Sullins in the same position he had his previous opponent, Greg Thomas. He has forced Sullins to throw a couple of strikes to make Warren perform in the 10th frame.
Half the pressure that he needs to put on Warren now.
For Harry Sullins, a possible 213, 2 more strikes in the 10th frame. Warren going at a 218 pace. He would cut the lead to 5 pins and force Chris Warren to mark in the 10th. Well, he let Warren get away from him. Chris knows that all he has to do is get a good count on his first ball, and he'll be in the semifinal.
Here's the man who won the first match now to win his second.
Needs a good count. I'll tell you what, I think he misfigured the score, Chris. I mean, he got a good count, and he's going to win this game, but he should have gone for his strike ball in that situation, because if he had gotten an 8 split, he could have possibly blown this match.
So Chris Warren will go against Mark Thayer. Bo and Larry Lichtenstein discuss an exotic way to create side weight on a bowling ball.
On last week's bowling tip of the week, Larry Lichtenstein showed us how to drill the ball off the center of the label so that we could create 1 ounce of side weight and more hook. Larry's back this week to show us a little bit different way of creating 1 ounce of side weight. Larry?
Nelson, what we've done here is we've set the weight block 45 degrees perpendicular to the track. In essence, we've made this ball illegal. But what we're going to do is we're going to add an axis weight hole to take the illegal weight out, bring the ball down to 1 ounce of positive side weight. If you will, the weight block will be gyrating as it goes down the lane, wobbling, similar to a tire out of balance, yet the ball will be legal.
All right, Larry, I've got it here. If I drill my holes up here and set the weight block to the side, it would actually have 3 or 4 ounces of side weight. That'd be illegal. You drill an extra hole in the side to bring it down to 1 ounce, and this creates more power rolling down the lane.
No question, the ball will hit.
All right, an exotic ball weight from Larry Lichstein. It's more effective. See your local pro shop dealer to get your bowling ball.
U.S. Olympic athletes, all told, they put in millions of training miles. It's the same idea behind our Firestone Firehawk Endurance Championship Series. The Firestone performance tires we've raced have run up more than 1.5 million miles. And everything we learn goes into every Firestone performance tire we make. Is it worth it? We think so.
ABC Sports and Nutmeg Mills have come together to create ABC Sportswear. ABC Sportswear by Nutmeg. Now for the real sports fan, the best is here.
Call now to feel the excitement of the perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
Thrill to the making of a 7-10 split.
Wow, let's replay that, baby.
And enjoy historic footage of bowling's legendary champions. ABC Sports presents an all-new home video, Bowling, the Perfect Game. Available only by calling 1-800-4ABC-VCR. Classic moments in bowling history can be yours for the incredible price of $14.98 plus $3 shipping.
Tiny Chris Warren of Dallas, Texas now has 2 victories. First defeating Greg Thomas of Idaho, 221 to 219. Then back in a very tight match against Harry Sullins, the winner in January, 217 to 203. And now he'll go against a professional bowler from the banks of the Wabash in Lafayette, Indiana, Mark Thayer.
And Chris, exciting first 2 matches, but you know, we got a new tape out at ABC Television, kind of our 30th anniversary of the PBA Tour, and it has a lot of exciting action on it. Some of the old timers, even before the PBA, Andy Verapapa, Greg Obansky was on there, and some of the other things. So it's really an exciting thing.
Well, it's a trip through the National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum, see some of their artifacts, and this is our 30th anniversary year, so we figured it'd be a good idea to do it, and I think it should be in your library. I don't think you'll regret buying it. It's called Bowling, the Perfect Game. And speaking of the perfect game, we'd like one right here.
160 players this week in the field. Here's some of the other finishes. Williams, 4,000. Traver, the only straight player up there in the top 10, didn't hook it much. Benoit, he's the defending champion next week. Edwards back in there. Petraglia will be in his own tournament in 2 weeks in North Brunswick. Del Ballard Jr., our statistician. McCorticus, outstanding winner so far. Smith, a newcomer up there. Burton steals a check. That should be against the law, 2,100. Billy Oakes, a former boxer. Mark Fay making a comeback here in 92. Rob Comito, great pro shop owner in this area. Traggart. John Forst, another big guy. Ron Palumbi, U.S. Open champion, $1,500. LeClaire Weber, another young power player. Watch for him. And college player Justin Romick round out the top 24, Chris.
Okay, in our next 2 stops, we remain in Florida for the Homestead Classic, south of Miami, and 2 weeks from today, North Brunswick, New Jersey, when it's the $150,000 Johnny Petraglia Open. And there is Mark Thayer on the left, and his roommate, Chris Warren. They've been roommates on tour for 3 years now. So here they are, head to head, for the right to go into the final. All right. Demonstrative and diminutive Chris Warren. Mark Thayer, 33 years old, from Lafayette, Indiana, 5'11", 165, fine athlete. First shot. He has been close so often as we get a profile replay.
Mark Thayer, just an ideal style, a tremendous power player. Watch the positions he has. See the wrist fairly flat, and look at that knee bend. Here's a key spot, pivoting off this step, now driving through. Watch the wrist action on this man, the high follow through, and one of the few real power players today to get a real low knee bend. He's perfect through 1.
Leading the 2 and sleeper 8, the man who in 1990 was second in the AC Delco. Last year, when he earned $72,000 without a win, third in the Beaumont doubles, second at the U.S. Open, second ARC Pinole.
The 2-8, get the ball right on the 2-pin, let it carry out the 8. The double wood, especially across the center of these lanes where there's a high lubricity in the center of the lanes, makes it very difficult to get up to the 2-pin.
Good job. Not a lot of speed, but a lot of accuracy. Mark Thayer today. Now, 2 victories, third match of the afternoon. It is very warm inside here at Cypress Lanes.
No. It's not good. You hit it. Don't hit it. Come on. Don't hit it.
I don't know exactly what he's mumbling to himself, but he's saying something about hit it. Maybe it's his spot. And Chris, you picked it up. It is so warm in here, at least 90 degrees. Now, what he has to do is get the ball just to the right of the 3-pin, let it deflect into the 10. Let's say the odds for a pro on this are 2-1. This is almost mandatory to make this in match play competition.
Hook. Hook. Dang it. It's all right. First open today.
Not all right. Opens the door a little bit. Next, ABC's Wide World of Sports, returning with the World Gymnastics Championships. You're looking at Kim Zemeskel, who won the World All-Around title. First time ever by an American. Iditarod sled dog race starts. The features, we welcome home the medal-winning figure skaters, Yamaguchi, Wiley, and Kerrigan. That's what the touring pros do. They come right back after an error with a strike.
Well, we've seen spares and splits on the right-hand side give everybody trouble. Chris Warren missed the 310. He's kind of opened the door for Mark Thayer here. He's ahead by 12, third frame.
Leaving the 3-6 here in Winter Haven, home of Cypress Gardens. A must on anybody's trip. Home of the Red Sox. They start training. Good to get over there yesterday, Bo, and see Haywood Sullivan and Johnny Pesky. And good to see Kathy Thayer from the banks of the Wabash.
She flew down here to watch her husband in action, going back to work this week, and then coming back to enjoy next week. She hopes her husband can win today.
Mark Thayer says that his temperament must change to get him into the winner's circle for the first time.
Well, I think I got to be a little bit more aggressive. In the past tournaments, I've tried just staying out of trouble. And I think this week I'm going to get out of the gates a little quicker, and hopefully it'll go my way.
And he needs to be more aggressive right now. A tentative on his first 3 balls, been high. Needs to play that big hook and send it wide.
Cranked it, but stuck at the line. Very good result, nonetheless. We're in our semifinal match of the Florida Open in Winter Haven, where we'll return after this.
Pain that's hard to face alone. That's why you need new Ultra Strength Bengay, with more pain relievers than we've ever had before. For muscle pain that's hard to ignore, minor arthritis pain, back pain, pain that seems worse at night. New Ultra Strength Bengay with more pain relievers than ever. Deep, penetrating warmth for fast, long-lasting relief. You can say goodnight to your pain with new Ultra Strength Bengay.
Did you ever get the feeling that something really big is about to happen, and you don't want to miss it?
standing room only crowd at Cypress Lanes in Winter Haven, Florida, the center of Florida. Chris Warren is trailing his roommate by 10 pins. He can make it even with a strike here in the fourth frame. Strike working. Here's the shot. All but 10.
Good shot. What are you going to do?
It was a good shot.
Stand up and throw it right back there again. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Match play. He defeated Thayer.
And that's a miss.
Okay. Here's Bo.
What are you doing?
Thank you, Chris. Our tournament leader, Bob Vespi. Bob, the proven champion, Chris Warren, could be your opponent, or Mark Thayer, who's never been in the winner's circle? Any druthers?
No, because I'm not going to beat myself this week. I'm going to throw 10 good shots, and let's hope I win. I'm not really worried about anybody else, because all I'm going to worry about this week is myself.
Pretty good attitude, Chris. Let's see how he does. Back to you.
And the throw from Florida. He'll be a worthy opponent, believe me, for either of these two. Speaking of worthy opponents, we wish my favorite matchmaker, who led me through the maze of boxing 40 years ago, Teddy Brenner. A little bit ill. He watches this show religiously every Saturday. Thanks, Teddy, and get well. And Mark Thayer leaves the 10-pin.
In Thayer's previous appearances in the championship round, he has 1 win, 3 losses with a 199 average, and he really hasn't had a great break go his way. That would have been a good time right there. He leads by 10, hit a little bit high in the 5th frame. He would have led by 20, doesn't get the break, has a pretty easy spare.
Mark Thayer, who qualified second. He's had several seconds. Second in the U.S. Open in Indianapolis, second in the ERC Pinole, all that in 1991, and second at the AC Dalco. But today could be his day. But Chris Warren, remember, is 1-2, has that confidence factor going for him. Leads by 10, spare working.
Ugly shot there. You have to give it room. You said that trust is a must or your game is a bust, and he's got plenty of room to swing it to the right. Mark Thayer pulls it right through the middle. What he has to do is just really go for the 2 pins. Over here in the 4-7, he can either slide the 4 into the 6 or hopefully have one bounce out of the kickback into the 6-pin, but he's best advised to go for the 2.
And he did it with a lot of speed, hoping he got lucky. Well, it's an open frame. And now leading by 1 pin is Warren and can up it to 11. There is Tripod. We're going to talk to Tripod's guardian at our first chance, and it's our respected colleague, Jack Arute, who is the guardian of the Pan American Havana Cuba dog.
Proven champion Chris Warren. Mark Thayer gives him a big opening with a kind of a lackadaisical shot in the 6th frame. Warren sees it, jumps all over it, leads by 14.
Watch the spoof. Get up. Get up.
Good break.
Excellent break. He had the 2-8-10 standing for just a moment, which would open the door and put Mark Thayer right back in. Watch the ball slide by the head pin, then the action in the left-hand part of your screen. You'll see the 2-8-10 standing momentarily. The 6-pin bushwhacks the 10. The 8 gets tripped out from behind. An easy spare. He'll lead by 13 through 7. And the players are beginning to lose the ball from the heat off their thumb hole. Go straight.
But it went straight. There's your leader by 13. We'll be back for more following this.
and never lets you down. Bud Light delivers.
Warning, up to half of all engine wear can happen when you start your car. At this critical time, tests prove Quaker State 10W30 protects better than any other leading 10W30 motor oil. In an overwhelming majority of engine tests, Quaker State 10W30 flowed faster to all vital parts. In all size engines tested, Quaker State protected faster, so it protected better. Get the best protection against startup wear. Today's Quaker State, it's one tough motor oil.
Competition is fierce in the Florida Everglades, and it's survival of the fittest on the lanes at the Homestead Classic next Saturday on ABC's Pro Bowlers Tour.
All right, Mark Thayer marked with a spare in the 7th frame. And here in the 8th, he has left a 9-pin on the left lane.
Wow, he's got to be kicking himself. All the way back to Lafayette, Indiana, Chris. Slides by the 9-pin, normally a routine spare. As I said, the center of the lane's a little slick, and we've seen a lot of players slide by spares on the right. But boy, has he opened the door for Chris Warren. 25-pin lead, 8th frame.
Get up.
Chris, good mixing strike against his roommate. And it just sapped everything out of Mark Thayer. You could see it as he came back to his chair. Oh, 165 pounds, practically breaking the canvas part of the chair. From his weight, not anger.
Well, heat is definitely a factor. All bowlers like a nice feel in their thumb hole, and it's so hot in here, it's hard to hold on to that bowling ball. I think that's the only thing that could undo Chris Warren right here.
But he makes sure, increasing his lead now to 35 pins. Don't forget Wide World of Sports following, returning as a World Gymnastics Championships, and you'll see Kim Zemesco. There she is, first American to capture the World All-Around title. Plus the start of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race, and the feature will be welcoming home gold medalist Christy Yamaguchi, silver medalist Paul Wiley, and bronze medalist beautiful Nancy Kerrigan.
Mark Thayer needs all strikes to get back in the match. 9th frame.
Crossing over, a wry smile. His wife Kathy brought her parents, Ed and Barb Snyder, who both, since we both love farming, they own some farmland on the banks of the Wabash River. Bottomland, does it raise popcorn?
Beautiful, and you used to be a popcorn farmer, as you saw Kathy Thayer looking away. Mark can still win this match. He can shoot 192. Chris Warren going at a 207 pace. He is absolutely mandatory that he strike on this ball.
Crossing over again. High head leading a 3-6-10.
There's an old rock and roll song that says no can do, and that's exactly what's going to happen to Mark Thayer here. The best he can do is 172. I know he's disappointed.
Roommates having a little conversation. Chris Warren trying to cheer up Thayer. Winner today, and the next match will get 23, runner-up 12.
Game. Shows you how nice these players really are. Strong competition, that's their job, but yet they're both awfully nice gentlemen.
Well, they'll have a lot to talk about driving down to Homestead for the next match.
Chris Warren, just through the routines, has a possible 227.
That's long. And it's a 2-10.
Leaving a 2-10. Games of 221, 217. He's had a great afternoon. Chris Warren, he goes into the final against Bob Vespi. ABC Sports presentation. The Professional Bowlers Tour will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
AMF Sumo. Flat out. More power than you've ever seen in a bowling center.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day.
No better way to face the day. Find it.
We've added the leading cough suppressant to the proven cold relief of Alka-Seltzer Plus. So now you can relieve your cold and cough together. Introducing Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Cough Medicine. 2 kinds of relief from only 1 medicine.
Tuesday.
Are you getting frisky?
Watch the Happy Days gang take you back in time.
Start your motor. You already did.
A Happy Days reunion Tuesday after Roseanne.
Bowling in the USA. Bowling in the USA.
For a great time this week, join your friends at one of these fun-filled bowling centers.
This lady claims she had a steamy affair with Alabama's Jeff Cook.
I'm Frank Gifford in New York. We'll return to bowling in just a moment, but a reminder, coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, we'll bring you coverage of the women's all-around from the World Gymnastics Championships, featuring American Kim Zamesco's historic gold medal performance, a truly remarkable performance. Plus, we're going to begin our 3 weeks of coverage of the Iditarod Trail Sled Dog Race, an 1,161-mile journey across the Alaska tundra, which got underway earlier today. And we'll also feature the triumphant return of Olympic figure skating medalist Christy Yamaguchi, Nancy Kerrigan, and Paul Wiley. It's all coming up just ahead at 4:30 Eastern, right after bowling. And now let's return to Chris Schenkel in today's final match. Chris?
Okay, thank you, Giff. In the first game, Chris Warren defeated Greg Thomas 221 to 219. Marched ahead against Harry Sullins 213 to 203. A step again against his roommate, Mark Thayer, 206 to 172 now. And on winner, Bob Vespi is his opponent for the Florida Open Championship. During the Pan American Games, this beauty, Tripod, stood guard over the ABC Hotel. Jack Arute became Tripod's guardian. Jack, it's been a great love affair.
Well, it certainly has, and as I said to you before, everybody at ABC, it's their dog, and I just happen to be the guardian of her.
What did she do? Stand outside the hotel and unofficially watch over the people arriving?
Yeah, as you can see, she was there at the Hotel Riviera and just basically was there as we left to go to work and as we came home. And nobody's quite sure, exactly what the story was, but we decided to adopt her after Jack Whitaker gave such a great essay about her.
Her first bit of clothing came from our producer, Carol Letty.
That's right. It was a bandana. In fact, that's why she has this bandana on today. They took the old bandana when she went through customs.
3 legs.
Born with 3 legs. That's
born with.
Right.
All right. Come back anytime, Tripper. How about your next race coverage,
Next
Jack?
race is March 15th in Atlanta, Georgia, and then following that, IROC, which is the best IROC they've ever had, International Race of Champions.
You're the best at what you do.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Jack Arute, one quick question as they get ready to bowl. You've watched the bowling show many times. Pick a winner here for me in the championship game. We have Vespi, the tournament leader, against the red-hot Chris Warren.
Well, I'm always a subscriber to the man that bowls the most has the best shot, so I think I'd have to go with Warren because he's been bowling fairly well.
Okay, he goes with Chris Warren. The tournament leader has won the previous 3 weeks, so let's see if Warren can change that.
The way to start. And putting Well, a sag job on Bob Vespi with that shouting and cheering. Vespi, who was the top seed at the Showboat when he lost to Harry Sullins, 175 to 150. Now, here's his second shot to get that first title. He's only 23 years old, but good. I like his confidence.
I agree with you, Chris, as you see his style coming up here. Vespi is a very confident player. Look at this wrist action. Look at the position he gets in. Look at this right here, the bent elbow. And look at how he's in that good lock position, ready to pivot off that step. And watch him release that ball just about like a palm shot with no thumb in it. He has led 2 tournaments this year. He led in Las Vegas and lost to Sullins. He has a chance for his first title here today.
So now he shouts. He, too, with a wireless microphone.
You see his position on the approach. Watch this inside-out swing. Just uncork the shot over the third arrow. Coast to coast, snaps in. Now watch the head pin, the bird dog, as they call it on the tour, come around and take out the 10. The game is on. Championship game.
I hit up on it. Hit up on it. Dang it.
Chris Warren is
mildly.
He's a tough guy to bowl against, Chris. He walks around like he's down and he won't get anything going, and all of a sudden he gets it going and he creeps up on you. So he's kind of lulling Vespi to sleep, but I don't think Vespi's paying any attention.
And he can lay on his own sag job about Vespi.
Interesting thing about Chris Warren, he charts the lanes, and what I mean about that, he'll say lane 27 is hooking more here at Mike Dukett's Cypress Lanes, and he'll remember that the next year. 28's a little tighter, and I think it helps the player year after year to chart the lanes. Right now, he's in the final game of the tournament.
Remember, this is his 4th game of the afternoon. Trim and fit. 115 pounds, whereas his opponent weighs 170 on a 5'11" frame. Double, shooting in the 3rd.
Uh-oh. 3-6-9. He was very proud of his spare-making ability in the 24-man finals. He told me he only missed 3 spares in 24 games with his devastating strike ball. That's why he's a tournament leader. Let's see if he can keep his spare-making string going.
Got him. Bob Vespi, 2 times in the championship round this year, had trouble in Las Vegas. He tells us what he needs to change things today.
Well, this time I'm going to try to be aggressive but keep my emotions at an even keel and think about every shot to shot, not as a game. I think if I make 10 good shots, I have nothing to worry about.
Leads by 7. Two, 4, 10.
Well, he said he'd like to make 10 good shots. He's only made 2 through 4 frames as he leaves the 2-4-10, Chris. A very makeable split. Get the ball over to the left of the 2-pin, drive it over into the 10.
All right, it's an open frame for our tournament leader, Bob Vespi from Plantation, Florida.
So, new jobs, new apartment, new neighbor.
Wait a second.
What?
Okay, let's say you're borrowing some sugar. Things start to get a little sweet. And she notices,
She's got flakes?
Not her, you.
Yeah, shampoo every day.
Yeah? Obviously not with this.
Head and Shoulders. But you don't have dandruff.
Exactly.
Head and Shoulders, and new Head and Shoulders 2-in-1 with complete conditioners built in.
I get that right? Perfect.
Back in 5, Stephanie?
When you're trying to eat right, days like this are a disaster. Is this it?
Stephanie Powers talks about Kellogg's Nutri-Grain.
The only time I really control what I eat is at breakfast, and the whole grain in Kellogg's Nutri-Grain gives me a natural start. No sugar added,
No preservatives, nothing fake. No matter what I eat later, at breakfast I call a shot.
Naturally good. Nutrigrain, the natural place to start.
Our hosts, father and son, Dad Daryl Duquette and Mike Duquette.
Mike, one of the brilliant young proprietors in the country, and they'll also be our host for the PBA National Championship later on ABC TV.
Just got a nice break, leaving only the two.
Start to break early.
Chris Warren just has kind of been up and down, in and around, throwing strikes as he wants them. As you look at the automatic pin setter, there's actually 21 pins in a machine. They're cycling the 9 that he knocked down on that time into the machine, and they're 10 ready to go.
Okay. Bo, you mentioned the PBA National in Toledo. Later on, it now is a $300,000 tournament, and it will be the Bud Light event. And that matches the Firestone total of $300,000.
Like to see that money climbing as we have a very tight match here, Chris. Nobody's really taken command. 7-pin lead by Warren, who's made 4 marks through 4 frames, 5th frame.
Okay.
Big trouble. This is the hardest split, or common split, I think we have in all of bowling. The 4, 6, 7, 10. People have a tendency to call it double pinochle. He has a couple of options. I think the easiest way to make it is get the ball over here in the 6-10 zone and try to bounce one of them across. You see the ball cutting through the center. He's going for the 4-7 to try to bounce it out.
Leading by 4, 6, 10, and first time grimness on his face. This is his 4th game. Now the tournament leader. Leading by 10. He's coming off an open frame. 5th frame now.
Yes, baby. Here. Come on. Make some good shots. Make some good ones.
Great shot in the 5th frame as he leads by 10. Vespi, who plays as much hook as any of the young players out here. He's a Southern regional player, and he credits Harry O'Neill, for the regional director, for a lot of his expertise. He's starting here. He'll slide way over here, be right around this angle. Watch the tremendous hook. He could extend his lead to 20.
Yes, baby.
There is Mindy, mother of Michael Anthony. His mom is Linda, who's watching with interest.
First time all day that anybody's pushed Chris Warren. Let's see how he reacts. 6th frame.
Dang it. What do you do? Just stay there.
Despite all that power, Chris Warren had a great year in 1990 and only missed cashing in 1 tournament in the Winter Tour of 1991. So he's a very versatile player, and that means make those spares.
Who just joined us, Chris Warren defeated Greg Thomas, Harry Sullins, Mark Thayer.
About what you're doing. Get up, get up, get up.
Which he did not do.
Very warm in here, very humid. And what happens to the oil or lubrication on the lane when it's real hot is that the oil has a tendency to actually get thicker. And he's not getting quite the hook he needs, as you see Vespi trying his hand. Very important to get that good feel on the ball. Tough spare for Chris Warren.
Now Bob Vespi, second in the National Resident Pro Championship last year, after finishing 72nd the previous year. There's Mendy's hands, his wife.
More Bob. Come on. What was wrong with that one?
He's surprised. Once again, we see a condition where, what we say, the oil carrying down. Despite all the practice they had, the players are starting to struggle. Not enough finish. Now he has to make a decision. Does he want to try to take one of these pins and bounce it out into the 10, or just make sure he gets the 2? I think it's advisable just to get 2 pins and go about your business.
All right, Bob. Okay,
I wonder what Lindy would say to Bob. Bob has talked to himself, and leaders by the round. There's Brian Voss.
18 games of qualifying, 24 finals, and match play. Bob Vespi took over on Friday. The final 16 games. Right now, he has just a mere 7-pin lead for his first title, 8th frame. Big hook ball bowlers such as Vespi, Chris Warren, and some of the other finalists we've seen today need lanes to hook back to be successful. When they have to go down the boards or fairly straight as they're trying to do now, they struggle, and that's what's happening right now.
Other finishers this week: Tony Westlake, 26th, Brian Voss, 27th, Bob Learn, 30th, Dave Ferraro, 34th, Bob Handley, 38th, George Bramham, 39th, Pete Weber, 49th.
For Chris Warren, 5 days of bowling, 18 games of qualifying, 24 in the finals, 3 so far in the championship round. This is his biggest shot of the week. He can take the lead in the 9th frame, championship game.
Oh, enjoying this match with us. And we welcome him from New York, our executive producer, Jack O'Hara. Fan of bowling? We appreciate his help. What a beautiful shot to watch. To watch it go.
Well, that's the kind of strike. Let's watch this pin action. Let's see where the pin comes to knock out the 10 pin. Watch the action of the head pin. It goes to sideboard, hits the 4 pin. The 4 pin comes around and takes out the 10. Vespi is up in the 10th frame with a chance to retake the lead. He trails by 3. Championship game.
Fun. Okay. Remember, he has 5 regional titles, but not a national title. He has been top seed twice, just as he is today. Here's a man with 4 championships.
We bowled 150 as top seed in Las Vegas. He's surpassed that now. He can take a 13-pin lead and earn a possible trip to the Firestone Tournament of Champions, but he cannot shut out Chris Warren. Warren is going to decide his own destiny. 17-pin lead for Vespi, but Chris Warren can still get up and do it. Warren cannot be shut out. Bob Vespi could finish with 208. Warren still has 211 left in the game if he can strike.
Difference of 11,000 winning or being second. That could have been an $11,000 shot. Bob Vespi.
Well, the man coming on the approach now was voted Mr. Clutch 1990 on the Professional Bowlers Tour. He has to throw 2 strikes to win. 2 strikes and 8.
There's one. This the title game.
Can't fault Bob Vespi, Chris. He bowled a great game. He was there in the clutch. He's never been in the winner's circle. But it's all up to Chris Warren, who needs a strike and 8 for the championship.
Bob closing with 4 in a row. double. Can he play? Remember, this is his 4th game of the afternoon, and it is hot.
What he needs now, he has to check the scoreboard. Let's take a look at it right now. He is going at a possible 211. If he gets 7 pins, it's a tie. It would have a sudden death 2-frame roll-off. 8 or better, it's a winner. Less than 7, he loses.
Performance. 4th game of the afternoon. Closes with a triple. Wins the championship. Wow. Johnny Campos, the national tournament director, we just saw, making it official on the score. Woo! 7 straight strikes at the finish, Bo, by the 2 professionals.
One of the greatest finishes we've seen, and best by far in 1992. Chris Warren saves Butch Soper in the Firestone Tournament of Champions. We'll be back to our word from our champion, Chris Warren.
We'll be back.
Thank you, Chris. And coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, you'll see Kim Zmeskel's historic gold medal performance in the all-around at the World Gymnastics Championships, plus the start of the Iditarod Trail sled dog race that got underway today. We'll return to Chris Schenkel right after this.
Just a reminder, proper maintenance with AC Delco parts can significantly reduce premature wrinkles. AC Delco, it's like buying time.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Speed Stick. It's 110% protection against wetness and odor that lasts all day. Start the morning with Speed Stick, the wide stick, for powerful 24-hour protection.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Speed Stick, 110% protection.
When you're looking good, you want Bud Light. The clean, fresh, tasty, won't fill you up and never let you down.
You can't get it, do you feel it? You know you got it right. Everything else is just a light. Keep your Bud Light shining. Everything else is just a light. You got to shine on. Everything else is just a light.
As you can see, Chris Warren wins with a 211, $23,000. Bob Vespi, a heartbreaker, $12,000, shooting a 208. Harry Sullins, and here is Chris Warren of Dallas winning his 5th championship, getting a check from Mike Ducat, the tournament chairman, and his dad, Daryl Ducat, whom we'll see in Toledo at the national championship. Nice tournament. Congratulations, Chris. See you in Homestead, Florida, week